Hollywood's golden era is often romanticized as a period of unmatched glamour, where every actor seemed larger than life and each film magically transported audiences to new worlds. On the surface, these classic movies defined the very essence of cinema: polished performances, exquisite costumes, and flawless stories. But if you look past those impeccably staged sets, the hidden reality is far grittier. Affairs, controversies, and murky intrigues festered behind closed doors, revealing a side of Hollywood that was anything but pristine. Even as these beloved actors captivated millions, many were entangled in manipulative studio politics, hushed scandals, and crushing personal struggles. It's a reminder that in the bright lights of classic cinema, there's often a darker narrative quietly unfolding just out of frame. For decades, movie studios maintained an immaculate facade to the public. They promoted carefully curated images of their biggest stars, down to wardrobe choices, relationships, and even manufactured personality traits. Each celebrity was positioned as an embodiment of charm, class, or comedic genius. Behind the scenes, however, contracts ruled every minute of an actor's life. Executives arranged and rearranged personal details with the cold precision of a business deal, ensuring no embarrassing storyline leaked to the press. Yet rumors always floated around: secret love children, hush money deals, or hidden medical conditions. People whispered about hush-hush clinics that patched up starlets' mistakes before they could erupt into full-blown scandals. But it wasn't just the stars who were complicit in keeping these secrets. Gossip columnists, fueled by payoffs or promised exclusives, played their part too, ultimately weaving an elaborate tapestry of half-truths that the audience consumed daily in magazines and theaters. It was a system that offered fame, fortune, and stability, so long as everyone abided by the unspoken rule: present perfection to the world, no matter what. One of the most startling examples of hidden darkness is the private life of Charlie Chaplin. While his comedic genius as the Little Tramp made audiences weep with laughter, behind closed doors he cultivated relationships that were far more unsettling. Repeatedly, Chaplin found himself involved with girls who were legally underage. At times, those unions were hastily formalized through marriage, often to stop gossip or legal ramifications. Mildred Harris was only 16 when she walked down the aisle with him. His second wife, Lita Gray, also a teenager, ended up marrying him after an unexpected pregnancy. Even when the tabloids whispered about Chaplin's disturbing pattern, his star status shielded him. Despite a few high-profile legal battles, fans mostly stood by him, dismissing critics as moral crusaders. Nonetheless, these revelations add a troubling dimension to his story, raising questions about whether his comedic brilliance could ever fully overshadow the painful truths about his personal choices. Meanwhile, Errol Flynn was no stranger to controversy either. Known for his swashbuckling roles and a rakish grin, he was eventually brought to trial on statutory assault accusations. The media fawned over Flynn's good looks, and audiences seemed all too eager to ignore anything that tarnished his adventurous screen persona. Though he emerged from court with an acquittal, the case left a dark, permanent mark on his reputation. And yet, it barely affected his immediate career. The studios kept churning out romance and action flicks, often featuring Flynn in leading roles, all while sweeping the details of that scandal beneath the red carpet. In a world obsessed with physical perfection, Hollywood's leading ladies faced relentless pressure to stay camera-ready. No story exemplifies these impossible standards more vividly than Joan Crawford's. Famed for her mesmerizing eyes and razor-sharp cheekbones, Crawford reportedly went to the extremes of having her back molars extracted, thus creating a more angular, high-cheekboned look. Why would anyone make such a drastic decision? For Crawford, it wasn't just vanity, it was survival. Studios thrived on her image and made no secret of the fact that actresses were replaceable. Aging lines or an unflattering angle could become grounds for losing a prized contract. Crawford wasn't alone in such drastic measures. Rumors swirled that other stars underwent secret plastic surgeries, nose refinements, and even experimental diets that would make modern viewers shudder. While fans at the time saw her as the embodiment of fierce beauty, Crawford battled constant self-consciousness. Her drive for perfection, on set and at home, proved corrosive. Personal relationships with her children deteriorated, highlighted by Christina Crawford's damning memoir. True or exaggerated, the allegations of abuse painted Crawford as a woman at war with herself, trapped by the demands of Hollywood to remain flawless at all costs. A different brand of darkness manifested in the relationships formed under the studio spotlight. Marlon Brando, revered as a method-acting genius, had a tempestuous connection with Rita Moreno that nearly destroyed her. He was known for his roving eye, and infidelity became the staple of their time together. Eventually, Moreno endured unthinkable emotional turmoil, culminating in a forced decision to end a pregnancy at Brando's behest, something that haunted her for years. The emotional toll weighed so heavily on Moreno that she almost offed herself in a desperate moment. Surviving that experience, she rose like a phoenix, eventually achieving a level of acclaim few performers can match: an Oscar, a Tony, Grammy, and Emmy. Still, her story remains a grim reminder that even the greatest talents can inflict harm on those closest to them. Then there's Alfred Hitchcock, dubbed the master of suspense for films like Psycho and Vertigo. Behind the camera, a more disturbing narrative played out for Tippi Hedren, one of his leading ladies. He'd allegedly grown obsessively infatuated with her, controlling her movements, sabotaging her interactions with other actors, and reducing her sense of security. Casting her in The Birds and then Marnie, he made it brutally clear that her career hinged on pleasing him. Desperate for creative and emotional freedom, Hedren sought to break away, though it effectively ended her collaboration with Hitchcock. While film historians marvel at his cinematic brilliance, stories like Hedren's highlight the manipulative power dynamics often lurking just off-screen. Classic Hollywood had its fair share of headline-grabbing scandals that threatened to topple empires. Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was a comedic favorite. His jovial presence on screen had fans roaring with laughter. Yet everything changed in 1921 when he was accused of assaulting actress Virginia Rappe, who died days after attending a party with him. Public outcry erupted, sensationalized by the press. 3 intense trials later, Arbuckle was acquitted with the jury, even apologizing to him, but that didn't stem the damage. Hollywood essentially blacklisted him, and the catastrophic blow ended his career as he once knew it. John Huston, another towering figure of cinema, faced a different kind of scandal: a fatal car accident in 1933. He reportedly struck actress Tosca Roulian while driving under the influence, leading to her death. Though exonerated by the courts, Huston couldn't escape the swirling rumors that he was covering for his close friend, Clark Gable, who some believed had actually been behind the wheel. No definitive evidence ever emerged to support these claims, but the suspicion never truly disappeared, leaving an unsettling footnote on Huston's otherwise remarkable legacy. With an industry built on relentless pressure, it's no wonder so many stars fell prey to dangerous coping mechanisms. Judy Garland is perhaps one of the most heartbreaking examples. Pushed into stardom at a young age, she was given stimulants to stay energized through grueling filming schedules. Later, sleeping pills were handed out to counteract those same stimulants. Over time, this pharmacy-like cycle corroded her health, both mental and physical, leading to multiple attempts to end her own life. Even as audiences fell in love with her portrayal of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Garland was collapsing behind the scenes from a toxic combination of exhaustion and medication misuse. Montgomery Clift had his own downward spiral, triggered by a near-fatal car crash after leaving a party at Elizabeth Taylor's house. The horrific injuries required major facial reconstruction, which not only robbed him of the youthful looks the public adored, but also left him in chronic pain. Addicted to alcohol and painkillers, Clift watched his once bright career flicker under the weight of his torment. The comedic legend Stan Laurel wasn't spared from personal demons either. Behind his endearing on-screen persona, there were unsettling claims of violence from one of his wives, who alleged he made threats while under the influence. Although Laurel's comedic genius with Oliver Hardy remains unmatched, those allegations lift the curtain on the real cost of that comedic facade. Sometimes that cost was life itself. Marilyn Monroe's demise stands out as one of Hollywood's most debated tragedies. Before she was an icon, she was Norma Jean, an insecure foster child whose stutter hinted at deeper emotional wounds. Chronic anxiety, heartbreak, and rumored associations with powerful figures have fueled speculation that her reported accidental overdose was something far more sinister. Decades later, theories about her relationships with political heavyweights continue to swirl, igniting endless debates about what really happened on the night she died. Jane Mansfield, another blonde bombshell of the era, met her fate in a devastating car crash at just 34. The official explanation cites a collision with a tractor-trailer, but alternative theories propose foul play, speculating that her brakes might have been tampered with due to personal entanglements. Though no substantial evidence has ever surfaced, the tragedy remains a magnet for conspiracy buffs looking for a more ominous explanation. Even child stars weren't safe. Shirley Temple was once the world's sweetheart, exuding sunshine in every musical number. Little did the public realize that she narrowly escaped a gruesome fate at the hands of a deranged fan. This grief-stricken woman, who had lost her own child, fixated on Temple as the supposed thief of her daughter's soul. Security intervened just in time to stop her from pulling the trigger, forever reminding us how adoration can twist into something terrifying. The golden age of Hollywood wasn't all red carpets, glittering gowns, and million-dollar smiles. For every success story, there were hidden heartbreaks, manipulations, and even tragedies that the studios labored to keep out of the headlines. These stories of extreme pressure to look perfect, exploitative relationships, false accusations, and actual conspiracies show us that the realm of classic cinema was far from innocent. But here's the real question. Have the lessons from those darker times truly shaped the Hollywood of today, or is the industry simply better at concealing its secrets? The legacy of these icons, Chaplin, Monroe, Brando, Garland, and so many others, continues to remind us that fame can be both a dream and a nightmare. Their cautionary tales linger, warning that when adoration becomes obsession and profits trump decency, the consequences can be devastating. If you found these revelations eye-opening, consider taking a deeper look at the myth versus reality of other Hollywood figures. Because once you scratch the surface, you may never see Tinseltown the same way again. And that's exactly why these hidden histories still captivate us, long after the final credits roll.